guys, so today I'm doing a video on the past lives of my horses. So today's the first edition, so it's the first one I'm ever telling, and this one is about Old Boy. He is my Frisian sport horse that I bought through the game, but as I said in my last video, I like to make pasts for my horses, so they have history, they have somewhere they've been, things that have happened. So today I am talking about Old Boy. His story is one of the first that I ever came up with because his name says a lot about him. So let's get on with his story, shall we? So, Old Boy was actually born on a farm. He was raised by this lovely old woman who absolutely adored him. He was born on that farm, his mother was there, his father was there, his entire family was on that farm. And the old woman that owned him was the most amazing owner in the world. She cared so much for him, she taught him everything. As I said, she was an old woman, and she ended up dying when Old Boy was a 3-year-old. So he had grown up with her, she had taught him handling, she had basically brought him up to that age, but since she did grow very ill, she did end up passing away, and the old woman didn't have any family, so Old Boy got sold on. He was given to this man who was just such a mean and cruel owner. He didn't care about him. He wanted a horse for barrel racing. He basically just wanted something that would go without question. He rode Old Boy so harshly and so cruelly, and he just never ever cared about him. Old Boy then became very sour. He didn't like anyone riding him, and he got so tired of the abuse and broke out of his paddock one night. He ended up tearing a ligament in his back leg. He really banged himself up trying to get away from this man. And for about 2 to 3 weeks, he was on the road. He was just travelling. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know where he was going to end up. He just knew that it was going to be better than the place he'd come from. One late evening, he was asleep and a truck pulled up next to him with a trailer attached to it. It was a horse auctions trailer, so they ended up catching him that night. He was, of course, tired, exhausted, and hungry, so he couldn't wait to get back into that trailer and know he was going somewhere. There was hay in there. He was just so hungry that he didn't care where he was going. He was safe at that point. So after he was caught, he was taken to a stables and he looked terrible. He had a cut on his back leg from breaking out of his pasture, which had gotten infected. His mane was just so tattered and knotted, and his tail was awful. He lost fur from the cold nights. His hooves were overgrown. He didn't have any shoes. He was generally just a rugged, run-down horse, and no one wanted him. To quote a woman, he was an old horse. No one wanted to buy an old horse. They wanted young, fit ones, not an old, slow horse that wasn't sure he was going to survive. And what they don't realise is, yes, he is an old horse, but that old horse knows so much. He is what riding schools call a schoolmaster, a horse that has been there and done everything. So I ended up buying him. I brought him back with me. I tidied him up, cut his mane to let it regrow, because the knots and the mattedness of it had just been so bad there was no restoring it. So he recovered, he began work again, and I gave him a place to call home. And I hope he's happy. He always seems happy and lively. And seeing him in that auctions, I would never have thought he'd be the same horse he is now. And to those people who call him an old horse, that means nothing. Because he may be old, but he's got a lot of life left in him. He's an old boy who is acting like a 2-year-old. And currently he's actually helping the younger Frisian I own, called Onyx, who is a crazy mad youngster who knows no boundaries in life. So yeah, that was Onyx's story. That is where he came from and how he got to me. So I hope you guys liked learning about him. I was really excited to make this video. Like I said, I've got all the horses, all their plans and all their stories written out, ready to tell. So if you guys would like to hear more, then please don't forget to comment down below. If you look in my last video with all the horses I own, if you want to hear their background stories, then just comment and I will make them as quickly as I can and post them for you all. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great evening and take care. Bye bye.